I, 44, went through wife's, 42, phone as I had a suspicion, and it turns out I was right. I never thought I'd be posting here, but here I am. My wife always played off to friends and family that we don't go through each other's phones because of trust. What a crock of crap that was. She came home last night drunk as hell around 10 p.m. and passed smooth the hell out. I had been growing suspicious lately because she'd been walking from the bedroom to the bathroom and vice versa naked a lot more than usual. That in itself isn't unusual, but she was also avoiding me and giving me strange looks while doing so. I knew that when she passes out while hammered, she will not wake up on her own for hours. I took the opportunity to say screw it and scratch this itch that's been intensifying, so I grabbed her phone out of her purse. I unlocked it and went straight to Snapchat. Okay, she's been talking to some guy, but still no evidence. Then I went to her messages to see she's been texting her dad. This was her stepfather from the time she was 2 straight into her teenage years. He's been known to want nudes from her for money and she has obliged, but that was all before I met her. Well, all messages were deleted until 1:24 p.m. that day on until 10 p.m. Well, at 1:24 p.m. her dad sent a message that said, "Damn, looks like it's ready for Junior." Then she sent a message saying, "Yes it is," to which he responded, "Well, I'm gonna have to go rub one out." WTF. The rest of the messages were her drunk asking for money because she got stuck with a $300 tab at the unofficial holiday party. This seemed off, so I went to her pictures. Nothing, until I went to deleted pictures. I saw a picture of her on our couch. I was just in the other room, flashing her pussy at 1:22 p.m. Say it's not so, say this didn't happen, only to realize, it's worse. I saw multiple explicit pictures of her taken basically every day for the last 30 days. The deleted file only holds pictures for 30 days. Keep in mind, I haven't received pictures from her in months, and when I did, they were never as explicit as these pictures. Then I saw 2 nudes of a guy our age who lives in our town as well as 2 nudes of her taken around the same time frame. I knew his girlfriend, but not him, so I immediately messaged his girlfriend his pictures and told her what happened. I took pictures on my phone of everything, and I mean everything, so I went to confront my wife with her phone. She was so incoherent and just denying everything. But while she was denying, she was also deleting the evidence off of her phone. I left our house and walked to my mom's house, which is on the same property. I spent my time playing with our 3-year-old daughter, worrying about what was gonna happen, until I get a text from my wife at 2 a.m. just after my daughter went to sleep. Yes, my daughter has a messed up sleeping schedule, and yes, we're trying to rectify it. Also, my wife barely has anything to do with our daughter because of work, but even when she's there she doesn't really spend time with her, saying we need to talk. I went home with nothing but divorce on my mind. She begged and pleaded with me, saying that she's turning into her mother, who has bipolar and a few other mental disorders. I've noticed my wife slowly having the same problems, but not nearly as bad. Her mom was also a messed up parent and really did mess my wife up in the head as well, although she was good at hiding it most of the time. She said that she just liked the attention and that it was nothing but pictures. She began calling herself names, crying, begging me not to leave her. I don't know if I can trust her on what she's saying or not, but nothing besides the weird nakedness had changed, and she had still been treating me with all of the love in the world. Yet, if she loved me, why would she be sending nudes to other men, especially her damn dad? She even told me that she didn't get money for any of it and she was just doing it for attention. I treat her like a queen, so she gets plenty of attention at home, and my sex drive is way higher than hers too. I have to think about my daughter here, because if I divorce my wife, she'll probably get the big end of the stick when it comes to custody here in Texas. They always seem to side with the mother unless they're on drugs. And knowing that she'll probably move in with her mom and her husband, which would severely mess up my child. Also, I'd like to state that her dad owns her husband's house, and years ago, he made it an issue that I am not allowed over there under any circumstance, because he was jealous and wanted her, or he would kick them out. I know for a fact she loves me, and I can tell she's genuine in her apology, but I can't say for sure that she won't do it again. I made her block her dad and the FK boy, and made sure she understood that if she ever contacted either of them again or sent nudes to another man, I'm filing for divorce immediately. She thinks I'm giving her another chance. I caught her doing similar shady shit like 2 months into our relationship before we were married. But I'm still on the fence about the whole thing and don't know what to do. My daughter is my main concern here. Also, we both have good jobs, so money isn't the issue. I've done nothing but love her, and this whole time, I thought I was getting the same. So here we are at 11 a.m. almost on my birthday by the way, and I couldn't go to sleep last, so I'm still up and have been for over 24 hours. I'm not tired either, I just feel like I can't sleep anymore. She didn't sleep either after our talk, and I can tell it's really bothering her. Didn't stop her from going to get her hair done though. Happy frickin' birthday to me. Sorry for the long post, it's a lot to unwind and there's actually a lot more to this, but I'm not writing a novel here. Because you used to be very happy with them and in love before the shit hit the fan and revealed the truth that they don't want to be with you after all. Except now that you're trying to move forward and replace them. Literally no one compares to all of their positive qualities. And you're not just making it up in your head that no one compares, no one actually brings to the table what they brought to the table. No one has the vibe they did. No one else has that ideal pairing of qualities that you long for in a partner, which they had. No one else makes you feel like you're home the way they did. Some people in this world are rare AF. That's why you would long to be with someone that doesn't even want to be with you back. Love is pure hell when it's not reciprocated. If anyone knows how to stop longing for people that were your mind's definition of amazing, let me know. Also, this whole, fuck yes or fuck no, mindframe can be a dangerous framework to operate from because it will make you say no to a lot of truly wonderful opportunities that could become a, fuck yes, down the road. Life is not black and white. And love is most certainly never black and white. Even your dream partner will never be a fuck yes, 100% of the time. And we love to live in this fantasy that everything has to be a fuck yes or else it's not worthy enough for our time. It actually took saying no to my ex to realize in less than 24 hours I was gravely mistaken. He was my absolutely. I can walk to the ends of the earth with this man, fuck yes. Before I went and believed this, it has to be a fuck yes, lie, and fucked up the best relationship of my life by saying, fuck no, like a damn idiot. I have friends who are now happily married with 2 kids. In the process of their engagement, the now wife told her now husband, I need a year to truly know if you're the one. They separated for a full year, dated other people, and at the end of that year, they came back together and knew beyond the shadow of a doubt they were meant for each other. Don't believe everything you read, just see it's dramatic, boys and girls. Learn to exist in life's gray zones, especially where love and relationships are concerned. There are actually few things in this world that are a true, fuck yes, fuck no, situation. And really the only true fuck yes, fuck no is your decision making, as in, fuck yes I'm committing to this decision. I'm taking the leap and there will be no undoing it, because trust me, when you say, fuck no, to love, that decision is going to haunt you every damn day of the rest of your life until you replace the love of your life you said fuck no to. What are you seeking advice on? Your wife seems to have had a 40 incestuous relationship with her stepdad. I can't think of a court on the planet that wouldn't find that harmful to a kid. If you want a free vacay, call Jerry. Sorry man, but this relationship is way too toxic to continue. There is no path for this marriage to be a healthy experience for your daughter. Keep your evidence about nudes to family. It will help you in your custody arrangements. Try to be as civil as possible because you want to maintain a civil relationship with your ex-wife for your daughter. She is sleeping with her stepdad too. I get what you say about an ideal pairing. If your idea of an ideal pairing is to be slotted in at number 6 in your wife's love priorities, then that is your choice. This will be your life now, they never change. Your friends made a conscious decision. Your wife cheated, so there is absolutely no comparison. Leave a cheater, gain a life. Read that book. Your wife's stepfather is an absolute creep and has probably been grooming her for years. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a physical relationship as well. Your wife is really messed up, and I can't think of any court in the world who would want to place a little girl in the home of a woman who is in an incestuous relationship with a man she's known since she was 2. She needs help. Your daughter needs safety, security and stability. I'd contact a divorce lawyer and get some advice. Why are you posting here? You seem to be okay with what she's done, and are giving her another shot. You're okay with someone like that being around your daughter. Does her mother know about the pictures to Dad? Sounds like he possibly abused her in the past. Your wife said a lot of times, fuck no, to your marriage and, fuck yes, to her affairs. You better believe that this was not just some sending pics, she is just confessing to what you already know. All the stuff that you don't know for a 100%, she will never confess even though she did them. Separate from her for some time, at least 3 months, better longer. Find a way to co-parent your child in that time and use that time to think about if you want to live your life with a woman that doesn't care about you. Also, please go to a doctor and get tested for STDs. Better safe than sorry. Meet with a lawyer and find out what a divorce would look like for you. Save the evidence of her cheating to a safe place, so that she can't delete it when she gets her hands on your phone. I, 28F. Found out my husband, 29M. Stalked me for a decade. Feels like my entire life is crumbling down and I just want to get things back in order. My husband and I had been married for 4 years. Very, very, very happily married. Before that, we dated for 3 years. He was my first boyfriend and my first love and the only guy the first ever want to be with, but I fucking ruined everything. I have a friend Carl, 28M, who has been my friend ever since high school. He's probably one of my 2 best friends. The thing is that he has tried a few times to hook up with me, and I've rejected him every time. He even tried to break my husband and me up, and when that happened I chose to cut things off with him, but he eventually came back into my life a few years later. My husband has understandably never liked his presence in my life, but he always trusted me. In October of 2020, Carl came to me and told me that he had said that he had found out something horrifying about my husband that I needed to know. Carl's new coworker is my husband's childhood neighbor, friend, and here's what Carl found out about him. Went to the same summer camp as me 16 years ago, has been in love with me ever since, was the one who would send anonymous flowers to my door in high school, joined my town's basketball league so that he could see me play soccer in high school, dumped his high school girlfriend because he wanted to go to my state school for college, learned my native language as a kid in preparation to impress my parents. I knew about absolutely none of this. Up until then, I thought my husband was just the first guy to show serious interest in me. He was a successful freelance engineer and I met him at a university art expo I was featured in during the last year of college. He was just this fun, wholesome, kind guy who was super interested in my art and in all of my interests. To make matters worse, Carl told me about all of this in front of our friends, and it just felt embarrassing, like I was the butt of the joke. I felt betrayed and lied to, and I confronted my husband. I don't know, I just felt so irrationally angry. A lot of that anger was from the embarrassment I felt from having this all revealed in front of my friends. I said some horrible things to him, and I called my husband a creep. I know I broke his heart that night. I remember so clearly that he asked me if it was so bad that he was a creep for me, and I said that I should have dated Carl instead of ever giving him a chance. Right as I said that, I wanted to take it back because I didn't mean it at all. I don't want to date Carl. I don't even see Carl that way. I said it to hurt him. I felt so angry at him and myself that I broke down in tears, but he didn't hold me or console me as he usually would. Not that I expected him to, I might have even pushed him away if he tried, but I just felt so cold after that. He packed up his things and left our house that night. We've been separated ever since. I moved back in with my parents mid-October while he dealt with selling the house. With the pandemic and everyone moving out of cities to suburbs, selling the house wasn't hard at all. He closed on the sale in January. My mom has been telling me to forgive him, but he doesn't respond to my texts or calls or emails. I cut Carl out of my life for my own sanity. It isn't Carl's fault, he was just concerned about me, but I still wanted distance from him to help me get my husband back. I want to undo all the pain my husband is feeling. Sometimes it feels like he's being stubborn, but I fully understand. He's very sensitive, even though he doesn't show it, and I know I hurt him by saying what I did. We've been separated 6 months, but I will drive by his new house every other day to drop off snacks, or his favorite beer, or just letters. I'm the stalker now, I guess. I'm the one stuck on the outside with no way in. I sit in my car at a park near his house and just cry for hours. I'm anxious and unhappy when I'm not near him, but then when I drive to his new house, I just feel so shattered. Last weekend he served me with divorce papers. My best friend, the other one, not Carl, told me that she heard my husband has been dating a new girl. There's no way she loves him as much as I love him. I don't want anything in life, I just want him back. Can anyone please help? Too long did not read. Unbeknownst to me, my husband stalked me for a decade before we ever met. My guy friend Carl told me about it last year. I got into a fight with my husband over it, and I said something horrible to him, about me wanting to date Carl instead of my husband. We've been separated ever since, for 6 months now, but I want him back. This weekend he served me with divorce papers and I found out he has started dating someone new. I just want him back. Honestly, I would say try your best to get to talk with him properly. That's the key. But if he doesn't want anything to do with you despite multiple attempts, then Maybe it's time to apologize to him, to yourself, and move on. Above said it better than me. I would just add one more thing. It was most certainly at least partially Carl's fault. He tried, again, to break you two up, and it worked. The bit about doing it in front of your friends was an extreme calculated move. He's the creep in your orbit. I really wish I could sympathize with you, but here's the thing. You let Carl, who you know had been trying to break up your relationship, succeed and hurt your husband in the process. You called him a creep for having a serious crush on you and acting on it like how many guys would learn their crush's native language. And why are you mad because he's dating someone else? He also deserves to be happy in his life. You made this so much about you and how much you were creeped out, that you couldn't see that it was genuine interest. Your mistake was letting Carl back in your life. Sucks, but you kinda did this to yourself. I'm glad your husband is dating a new woman. Enjoy the bed you made for yourself. Man, you really fucked this one in the ass. You should have been flattered to no end that a guy went through all that trouble to try and impress you. Literally nothing you talked about was even creepy, and he legit was trying to impress you and win you over. You friend, Carl, finally succeeded. All you can hope for is that your husband will change his mind and take you back. I wouldn't. How are people saying that what your husband originally did isn't creepy? If I found out some random guy from high school purposely chose to follow me to college, that's creepy. Try therapy? Maybe there's something that hurt him that you're not aware about. I don't think anything you said would lead to a divorce. On the other hand, it's kind of odd he's chose to cut you out so fast, so maybe that says something? Live and learn, kid. Shit happens, you'll be wrong about a lot of things in life. I know this is a big one, but it's still a great teachable moment. You learned what a snake and a good man are, and you'll never fall for another Carl's bullshit ever again. I bet if you stop communicating with him and his family, he'll be back before you know it. Girlfriends aren't forever, let him deal with this his way, and maybe he'll come back to you. Maybe he won't. But I'm sure the irony of you now stalking him isn't lost on him, and it doesn't sound like he's happy about it. Let him go, and hope he comes back. That's all you can do right now. A summer fling turned too real too quick. A couple of weeks ago I started working on my brother's farm. I've always been around to lend a hand but flew pretty under the radar because I've always been really, well, ugly. But COVID let me work on my appearance and personality, and I'm a much happier person now, and others have begun to notice. Men have never paid attention to me before, especially the men who work on my brother's farm. They would flirt with my sister and cousins but never me. This year, maybe because my sister and cousin are both gone this year, they have all started talking to me more. After 24 years of being looked over, I really enjoy it. There's one man in particular, he, like the other men that work for my brother, is an offshore worker from Jamaica. I've known him since I was 12 and I've always found him very handsome. I noticed right away when I started that he would watch me, and like I said, I enjoy the attention. So I started flirting back. What's the worst that can come out of a summer fling? He told me he likes me and I was so excited. I kept thinking that he's the man that can show me all these amazing parts about life, sex, that I've missed out on because I was so miserable and wasn't caring for myself. Well, last night we talk on the phone, just getting to know each other, and he starts saying, "I love you," and, "I'm going to marry you." Then he starts talking about moving his 2 children down here and how we can buy an apartment together and I'll be his little wife. Well, suffice to say I was horrified. I wanted to finally lose my virginity in a Lady Chatterley's lover type way, not wife up some man who is nearly 40. I'm still really attracted to him, but I can feel the anxiety just grip my heart every time he says, "I love you." I mean, obviously I know he doesn't actually love me, that he may see me as a ticket to a better life. But the particular problem is, this man is my brother's right hand. They're so close that my brother is flying to Jamaica this winter to invest in the Mont's farm. Has anyone else ever begun an ill-advised affair with an offshore worker and realized you may be risking their entire career? This is a manipulation tactic. He's love-bombing you to hook you in and rushing things because he's toxic and wants to control you. Don't fall for it. Don't walk, run. It's not too late to turn back. That's what I'd do. Affairs aren't meant to have so many strings attached. Congrats on working on yourself and your newfound confidence. Bro, you met this guy when you were 12. Don't move forward with this. Find someone your age. He sounds like such a loser. I met a guy like this when I was your age and it was a nightmare. Also, any normal man would not be interested in a girl he has basically watched grow up, who is so much younger. Run. Break things off before they go any further. He will get over it and his relationship with your brother will be fine. You can find casual sex literally anywhere else. I would just be honest and tell him that you're not ready for a big commitment like kids and marriage. It doesn't have to be a whole big thing if you don't let it turn into one. He obviously just wants citizenship for him and his children. He thinks that because this type of attention is new to you he can manipulate you and take advantage of your lack of experience. Just telling him that you won't be continuing your relationship with him. Find someone your own age who respects you and wants to build a real relationship with you. Tinder, Bumble, etc. Major red flag that he's known you since you were 12 yet somehow thinks it's okay to behave this way with you. Saying this as a Jamaican, this is pretty common with men from there. They will love bomb you, try and wife you up, then cheat on with the next hot thing. Cut your ties now. How do mornings in a healthy relationship look like? 31F, 32M. I am curious to know how do your mornings during the week and on the weekend look like? My 31F boyfriend, 32M, isn't attentive at all and I have almost forgotten how healthy looks like. My boyfriend barely acknowledges me. We were at my place. And I had an exam at 9 a.m. And while I was studying he was watching videos of video games quite loudly and took a phone call and even put the other person on speaker without asking if it was okay or apologizing afterwards. He didn't even ask me how my exam went later during the day. I am in my last year of school and like today I had another exam and he acted the same way. He even brought me home late and then he asked me what time I have class. All my classes ended, I only have exams now. He shows very little interest in the things that are important to me. How do your mornings look like together? Thank you. This will actually cheer me up that other people are happy and in healthy relationships and that what I am asking for isn't much. Too long did not read. My 32M boyfriend played videos at a higher volume, took a phone call and put the other person on speaker, on the morning of my exam while I was studying, and he was at my place, without asking if it was okay or apologizing afterwards. He also did not ask me later in the day how my exam went. How do your mornings look like on weekdays and how do they look like on weekends? Edit. This is unrelated to mornings. Last night we were cat-sitting at other people's house and he went upstairs and turned off all the lights, while I was still downstairs collecting my things. Edit. Grammar and spelling. Girl, why are you with him? You make so many posts about your boyfriend and how he doesn't treat you right. Just leave and find someone who treats you with love, affection and compassion. I wake up, make myself ready for work, make coffee and breakfast for my wife, then wake her up, I start an hour earlier, and kiss her goodbye. In the weekends I do the same except I spend a little more time in the kitchen since we have our weekends off. Looking at your post history, get out, now. A healthy relationship takes interests in their partner's interests. Not everything of course, but some, half even. A healthy morning would look like peace the morning before an exam. A short small breakfast to not disturb studies. Healthy can also just mean peace, space, or a kiss on the cheek and wishing you luck. Any combo of these would mean good things. Your post history is a train wreck. Leave him and live your life, like you said you wanted to. 35M, 36F. On weekdays. Alarm goes off, we hit snooze and cuddle for a bit and chat about how much we'd rather not have to get up. Then we get up, clock in for work, we're both WFH at the moment. Then get coffee and talk about our plans for the day before we settle into work properly. Weekends. No alarm, we sleep until we're ready to get up. Usually I'm up earlier, so I'll quietly slip downstairs and chill there for a bit, and start making breakfast when I hear her moving around upstairs. Then we'll have a leisurely breakfast and chats over a couple of hours, assuming neither of us have somewhere to be. Your boyfriend is a dick. A healthy morning is waking up to affection, hugs, kisses, that stuff. Then getting breakfast together and eating on the coffee table or back porch. Talking about your future or travel plans. Checking in on each other about how the other is feeling and how their week went. Hard for me to remember when mornings weren't dedicated to herding small children out the door, but it definitely wasn't that, and I'm an introvert who needs my own time and space. This is down to him having no consideration for the person he's living with, let alone in a relationship with. It sounds like he's done with the relationship but doesn't know how to deal with that, so is sabotaging the relationship instead and hoping you'll leave so that he doesn't have to blame himself. I just looked at your post history and realized that I replied to you before. You are in a severely abusive relationship. How far along are you in your plan to leave?